got time to fill. They've created a game called Mashflix and Chill. The same two fools with a bit of a twist. With each new mash, a new guest they enlist. It started as hybrids, a game from Carl's mind. Thinking about what if two movies combined. We could stitch them together in pyramid style, or a film-ly tree set side with a smile. We still do the scale, all 5 points we've got, and unveil the ale. Only Carl drinks the lot. A man called Adam said, hey, this looks good, so we made it a podcast as quick as we could.
Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where a pair of amateurs haphazardly dissect classics, mashups, and some films that only one of us likes. I'm Simon, and as usual, I'm joined by my good friend Carl. And for our Mashflix and Chill episode today, we're delighted to have with us author of Movie Journal and awesome Instagram reels, frequent guest on many a podcast, and now host of her own podcast, I've Seen That One, all the way from Utah. It's Klarissa Beckstead.
Mashflix and Chill, it's time for the start. Still just two idiots trying to sound smart. Mashflix and Chill, only mildly offensive, but podcast equipment should be more expensive.
Hello, Klarissa.
Hey, you guys, how's it going?
Really good. Really glad to have you on. As we were saying, just off air beforehand, it took a little bit of fiddling around and changing. You've been a sport to actually just cling on to us and still turn up. So thank you so much for that.
Oh my gosh. Of course. Really not even a problem at all. I am so excited to be here, talk about some awesome, crazy movies. And yeah, this is going to be great.
Brilliant. So just in case our listeners are not already familiar with you and what you do, please do give us a little bit of background about your movie fandom and tell us about I've Seen That One and your general movie journey that you've been on over the last few years.
Awesome. Totally. So I grew up loving movies. My mom very much is a golden age buff, loves watching older movies. And so I grew up watching a lot of those movies and honestly, just a lot of classics across the board. But it wasn't until I got older that I realized there were a lot that I still hadn't seen, of course. I think the list of classic films is never ending and we're all kind of trying to like chip away at that. But I started getting really frustrated when, I don't know, I'd be like with friends and someone new would come around and be like, how can you say you're a movie buff if you haven't seen Top Gun or whatever? And there were movies I was like, okay, to an extent, I do agree with you. There are a lot that I haven't seen. And I yes, I love movies, but I feel like these I absolutely have to see. Like I know their names for a reason. And so I think it was like officially 5 years ago now, I just dove down this rabbit hole. I researched and read all these books and I made a list of like 270 movies and I just started chipping away at them. I think in the same day I watched Braveheart, Top Gun, and American Psycho. And I needed to breathe for a minute because that was crazy. But I just was so excited about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, not everyone in my life wants to hear me like get the movie wiggles and be like, I watched this amazing movie. So I started a page for it and totally found a community. And I found a lot of people who also were kind of going through that journey. And so I wrote a movie journal of like 100 movies I think everyone should see. And it's interactive. So it's like, this is a snack recommendation I think you should have. And then I just want you to write about it. And you're just going to like talk. And then my podcast follows every movie. So it's like you go through, you watch the movie. And then if nobody in your life is down to like talk movies with you, I am. And so you can come and listen to the show and we just go through it together. So it's been so much fun. I think I already have enough movies to like write 3 more books because there are just so many good movies out there. 100 doesn't even meet the limit. I mean, I don't even have the second Aliens in there. I have Alien, but I don't have Aliens. And I saw that and I was like, oh, why didn't I do that? That's crazy. So
It must be
lots of
really,
feelings.
really hard to pick that first 100, particularly when you're starting the podcast. How you go? What's episode one? What do I lead off with? How do I set the tone?
Yeah.
And what am I doing for my first 10?
That's a good question, though. What is episode one?
Episode one, you know what, you guys, I have to tell you, I was way less methodical. And even looking back at my podcast as I see it published, I'm like, how did I come up with the order of these movies? I could just threw them in there. And then I made them on Canva. And so I literally just mixed them around. So it wasn't like you watched a bunch of dark movies and then like some
Yeah.
rom-coms. But my first movie is V for Vendetta. Not
Oh,
even
wow.
like a super
That's a
famously.
left field pull.
I know, yeah. And then it goes straight from V for Vendetta to Titanic. So
Of course.
it's,
Yeah.
of course, naturally, just like total natural flow of watching movies. And like, I watched some really great Hugo Weaving. It's time for some Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's nonsensical. It just, I mixed up the genres and called it a day. And then I was like, here's this book. Enjoy it, if you will.
Perfect. Well, before we get through to our mashup today, as we do with every one of our guests, we ask for their top 4 films. So I guess first question, are you on Letterboxd? Are you a big Letterboxd user?
I'm not like a massive Letterbox user, but I do log all of my watches. I I haven't like really put it out there or anything like that. It's kind of just one of those like, oh, I just keep a diary of what I'm watching and it helps me look back.
Yeah.
But yes, I do use Letterboxd. It's so fun.
And what are your top 4 movies that you have on your homepage then?
Totally. Well, first off is a musical. I have La La Land. La La Land is my all-time favorite. It is the perfect mix of modern fun cast. I mean, I love Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, but also Golden Age classic musical tropes, and I love Golden Age musicals. So it was definitely speaking my love language. And then my second one is Die Hard. I love Die Hard. I can watch Die Hard anytime. It's just too great. And also, Alan Rickman is a perfect villain. Always. Bless his heart. He's amazing in everything he is like in, but I just love him as Hans Gruber. My third is called The Ghost and Mrs. Muir. It's from 1945 and it stars Gene Tierney and Rex Harrison. And it really is just a chick flick, you guys. It's it's this movie about this woman who moves into a haunted house and she falls in love with the ghost. And so it's just fun. It's got, I mean, it's really silly. Rex Harrison is hilarious and charming, and he's a sailor, so she like is a super proper lady who starts to swear like a sailor because she's hanging around with this ghost all the time. I mean, really, it's so fun. I love it. So that's my third, and then my fourth is The Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
I really left turn there
Yeah,
from my
yeah.
last little chick flick, but I read the book and I feel like the movie reads very much like a book, and Anthony Hopkins is brilliant. So those are my top 4.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, a great 4. Die Hard is one that definitely does seem to appear up there in people's top 4, and why not? I mean, it's a fantastic
So
movie.
good.
But yeah, that is one I'm going to have to check out as well. And Carl, have you seen the? I can't remember what you called it, Chris. What
The
was
Ghost of Mrs.
name?
Muir.
Yeah, have you seen it?
I
Yeah.
haven't. A couple of things I just noted there. It's a Mank film. Mankiewicz.
Ah.
He directed it, and also Rex Harrison is the inspiration for the voice of Stewie in Family Guy.
What?
Yeah.
No way. That is
They're cool.
crazy.
So yeah, there you go.
My husband will love that.
Yeah, Seth, what's his face?
MacFarlane.
MacFarlane dropped that nugget on a talk show over here at some point. So
Ooh.
know the name, but no, not seen the film. So
There you go. We'll add it to the list.
indeed.
Nice.
Sure. All right, thanks, Klarissa, for that. So it's about this time of the episode usually, because usually me and Carl are in the same room together, in that room that you can see behind Carl there recording. And Carl usually serves up a beer for us to be drinking during the episode that is somewhat loosely related to kind of the movie or movies that we are talking about. But obviously, we're remote, so we can't really do that, right, Carl?
Yeah, see, what this is, Clarissa, really is Simon and I have hit middle age. We'll do anything to avoid picking up the phone. So we've started a podcast as a thinly veiled excuse to get together and drink.
Yep.
Love
So
it.
I try pick a beer to go with a film. Today's no exception. I've done that. I've gone for a beer from the brewery Brewdog. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Clarissa, but Brewdog were a brewery that was supposedly all about the craft, all about the arts, but have in time just shown themselves to be another set of capitalist scumbags that succumb to trends and exploit anything for commercial opportunity. Maybe there's a link to that in one of the films we're discussing today. I'm not sure. I couldn't quite get one that's called the Juicy Fruits, but this one is called Fruit Burst.
Nice.
So yeah, so I've got us a can each. As the distance prohibits us partaking in these, I will drink them all on your behalf. I take this seriously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you so much.
Always. Yeah, it means a lot.
The
It means a lot to us.
Thanks.
Yeah. Enjoy. All right, let's introduce today's mashup that Klarissa has brought forward. So we have the Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975, mashed with the Phantom of the Opera 2004, makes, of course, Brian De Palma's 1974 movie, Phantom of the Paradise. We're going to go around the room and give our initial thoughts on each of the movies being mashed together, where it sits on our simple 5-point scale, and how we thought that they would fit into the resultant film. And just in case you're not familiar with our simple 5-point scale, Klarissa, and just in case any of the listeners are new and they're not familiar with the simple 5-point scale, I'm going to introduce it to you. It's simple. It's in the name. You either really like it, you're ambivalent, you don't like it, or you really don't like it. And it's very important to detach what you like from what is good. You can really like a really bad film. That's totally fine. We're just talking vibes here. Okay? So we're going to start things off with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And Carl, I'm going to go to you first to reveal what you think of this and where it sits on your simple 5-point scale.
I had a note down here. At this stage, I was going to say, Klarissa, please don't let me dampen your energy today. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I'll be honest.
Nah.
So first time watch for me. As I messaged you the other week, my wife says thank you. She never thought we'd get to watch this together. She was thrilled. Rocky Horror. I don't like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So the only thing I knew about this was that Tim Curry is a transvestite, and that for some reason men put on the wife's knickers and go and see it at the cinema. Does anybody? Is that a thing in America? Is that just a UK thing? What's that about? Do you know that, Simon?
That everyone
Yeah.
that everyone goes all dressed up?
Yeah.
Just in drag, the men will put the suspenders on and pop off to the.
I mean, men will go in golden Speedos. I will be honest, you guys, this was the first time I ever watched this and not in a theatrical setting. And here's why people do that. It's because this movie doesn't have like any plot unless you do it.
Did you have to make your husband?
I want him to go, but he never has. I'm like, it's going to be the experience, like quite the experience when he goes.
Very, very strange. So I knew that about it. That's about it. Blofeld was in it. Charles Gray. That's nice. That was a little Bond reference there. As is the Maze Master. Are you familiar with the Crystal Maze? You have the Crystal Maze over there?
Richard O'Brien.
Can you start the fans, please? Brilliant.
Yeah,
See him pop up.
He did a whole sort of British. It's not even a game show. How are you?
Yeah, it's kind of like a game. Yeah.
Well, they go around and it's a team of people, and this is in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. This team of friends or work colleagues, sometimes people that clearly don't get on with each other as well. That was always a fun episode. Yes. And they'd work together in these different zones: the Aztec zone, the future zone, the something, and they'd have to pick a game of skill or a game of a mental game or whatever, and they'd have to collect these crystals. The more crystals they got, the more time they got in the crystal dome, where they had to collect gold tickets and silver tickets. And if you collected the silver tickets, that got taken away from the gold tickets. You got to have a certain number of tickets to win a prize. Very complicated.
Great show.
Great show, though. And also,
you
can do a live version of it in some cities in the UK. So you can go and get your friends together and go do this show as well.
So
It's
yeah,
not just
so
on
when the
the
Maze Master pops up in this, I loved it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a lovely reference.
Good.
Also, one other thing I did enjoy, I did not like the music in this film, with the exception of Time Warp.
yes.
I'm warped.
So I used to do that on holiday, vacation. You get the party dances out as a kid. I had no idea it was from this film, but I genuinely love that song. My problem with musicals, I've come to realise, and we'll talk a little bit about this when we talk about production of today's main film. I think it doesn't matter what it is. All the songs are like twice as long as they need to be. And like I mean this from the point of view of it's like I know that if you like the songs in a musical, I know you're going to be predisposed to liking that musical. But I mean, a lot of the time it feels like they forgot they're making a film and they forgot they're telling a story. And a lot of the time I feel like that's great, but you've made your point. Let's move on now, please. A minute at a time. Lovely. Anyway, I'll just finish off by saying Tim Curry, proper big dick energy. He was well sexy. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's not for me. In terms of the MASH, it's a great shout. It is batshit crazy. Glam rock evil practitioner to boot as well. So yeah, very, very a lot of parallels as I'm sure we'll get into.
Good stuff. Thank you, Carl. And Klarissa,
Nice.
what about you? Where does it sit on your simple 5-point scale there, and why?
Yeah, so I feel like I have different elements of this film that sit on different like sections of the scale. But overall, I mean, I could not tell you what this movie is about,
Mm.
but I experienced this movie for the first time in theaters and like had a piece of toast when they say a toast and you chuck the toast at the screen, and like when you're at the wedding everyone pulls out rice and you throw rice in the theaters and you have squirt guns and like the little hand clapper things. I mean, it's
Like
so fun. And I went
4D.
with Oh yeah, super 40. I mean, you have rice in your hair when you leave, maybe even toast. I don't know. I mean, it was so much fun. But also there were performers acting out the movie in front of the screen. And so that was just, I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at here, but I'm having a great time. So that this really was the first time that I watched it, really just zoned in on this movie by itself. And I would say that I would actually give this movie a 3 because again, I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden they're cannibals. All of a sudden meatloaf's coming out of the freezer. Crazy stuff. But I also actually give the music a 5. It's okay, Carl. You don't have to love it. I really love 70s and 80s musicals. Like the Pirate movie is so good. I love Xanadu. I love Little Shop of Horrors. Like all of those are really fun little vibes to me. But I also grew up doing musical theater. So this was very much something that my family would have loved music wise. And so I'm like, I love the music. And the rest of it, I mean, really, Tim Curry gives an incredible performance. Again, don't know what he's doing, but I love that he's doing it. And I also really do love 70s films that use sets and colors really ambitiously. And this is one of those movies for sure. So I'm sitting at like a 3 for it.
So what's a 3 for you? Is that like you overall you like it? Are you saying you like it overall? Or
Yeah, I
Yeah?
would say like I'm leaning more towards like it, but it's not one that I watch often by any means. So it's like really just middle ground. I'm like, yeah, that's a film. That's a fact. Like that is a film. Yeah. But fun music in the film.
And what were you thinking when you suggested this for the mashup? How this fit into Phantom of the Paradise? It's so hard to get that film title right. By the way, every single time I want to say opera.
Don't say opera. Don't say
I
opera.
know.
Don't say opera.
Well, you know what is so funny is I really just wanted a reason to talk about Phantom of the Paradise. And this movie visually and music wise lines up so much with Phantom of the Paradise. And that's why it's so perfect with like, okay, take the plot ish of Phantom of the Opera and put it in a Rocky Horror setting, and that's what you have.
Very good. No, thank you for that. So for me, this is a difficult, similar to you, Klarissa, in that I was just like, where does this classify on the simple 5-point scale because,
Yeah.
as you say, it's crazy, random, it's over the top, camp, messy, messed up,
Oh, so camp.
nonsensical, wacky, and weird. I kind of enjoyed it, and
Ooh.
I think overall I landed it on that I like it. Now, this was the first watch for me, and I kind of went in going. Firstly, I was like, "Can I watch this with my 10-year-old son?" I was like, "Hey, it feels like it should be something I can watch with." No, no, I don't think it is. I don't think it should be.
Oh.
I think he should
Yeah.
wait. He should wait
Yeah.
until he's ready for that. But it's firstly a lot more fun than the Phantom of the Opera. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed it throughout the majority of the runtime, even though it makes no sense and I've got no clue entirely what is going on. But everyone is having a ball on this
Oh,
film.
yeah.
You can tell they are enjoying themselves, which kind of takes me along with it. Now it does
Mhm.
go on a bit too long. By the final scene, I was kind of begging it to end a little bit, but
Oh, yeah.
I think overall, it'd be one of those films, and we've talked about this before, can't we? You'd probably watch some of it again. You'd watch it up
Mm.
to a point, and then you go, and then I might drift away to my phone or to something else
Mhm.
or whatever. But in terms of where I thought it fit into the mash, it being a first time watch, I had just sort of a general idea, and a lot of it was from again seeing lots of folk queuing up to the theatre to go see this in drag. When I was at university, that was a semi regular occurrence that you saw. Never partaken in it in myself. Wouldn't rule it out. Just saying, Carl. If
Oh,
we
it
wanted to,
is.
if we
Oh,
wanted
man, do we have to go together? Do we?
sure. I don't see why not.
You guys absolutely should. Please do.
Yeah.
Dress up too. Just kidding, I did not dress up, but it's a wild time. I think that's honestly the way that movie should be experienced.
I've done worse, let's be honest, Chris.
Yeah. I do wonder if there are people that turn up to those showings and they're just come in their usual casual clothes and they look, I've misjudged this.
Yeah.
This isn't this. What do I do? You did that as well. Yeah,
That was
nice.
me. Yeah, I showed up in like jeans and a sweater. I think I literally was in like oh gosh, like a Jude Law knit sweater from the holiday. Like one of those sweaters, like, yeah. And I was just like, oh wow. I really missed the mark on this one. I should have expected that.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's move on to the next film in the mash, The Phantom of the Opera, the 2004 version. Because let's face it, there are quite a few versions of
Mhm.
this. I had not seen any of them prior to this,
Mm,
and this was a first time watch for me as well. So, Carl, back to you. Where does
Yeah,
it sit on your 5-point scale?
I had seen this one a long time ago. Very, very little memory of it. I really don't like this film. This film really rubbed me up the wrong way. And I promise Clarissa, this is as negative as I'll be. I'll cheer up after
okay.
this section.
It's okay.
This one really rubbed me up the wrong way because what a wasted opportunity this film is. It looks amazing in terms of
Yeah.
the sets and production and whatnot. And then when the title song kicks in early, you think, "Oh, here we go." This is because it's such a big tune that, and they really go for it with some really powerful music. And I think, yeah, big story, mysterious ghostly figure. The Phantom, love, societal norms, classism, huge themes, and it is just such a damp squib. Like the title song aside, I thought the music was really uninspiring. Again, if that's down to taste, some people will get along with it. I think it's all sort of too long. I mean, I think the film in general is too long. So I'm reliably informed by the internet that the strength of musicals is to elevate certain things that just can't be conveyed through words. We just need to burst out into song. And in this musical, the way it does that, like there's a scene where they're singing about a letter and they say to Patrick Wilson, "Was this you?" And he sings, "I did not write this letter," or something like that. And then they're like, "Come off it, you did write that letter." And he goes, in the same cadence, in the same timbre, at the same volume, "I did not write this letter." He says the same line, exactly the same. And he's doing the conversational equivalent of politely restating his position. And that to me seems to fly in the face of, well, it's about musical expression and doing something. But that is this film all over. I've written heightened my arse. I don't know if that phrase will translate to the US. No idea. So no, this movie really, really frustrated me because ultimately, underneath it all, forget the musical side of it. I think it's a bad movie. I think it's very poorly put together. I can't not mention the actors. Jared Butler might be the weaker of the three when it comes to singing, but he's probably the only one actually trying to do any acting, which is a shame, given he's the one wearing the mask and we can't see his face. Patrick Wilson's ponytail has got more charisma than he does, and Emily Rossum can sing, but she moves through the scenes like a sort of bewildered waxwork. She's just sort of like pushed around. So, yes, again, it bears repeating. I accept that if you like the musical numbers in this film, you might get along with it. For me, as a film, I think this is a real turkey, and it could have been and should have been so much better. For the MASH, again, great shout. So much of the central plot line is right in Phantom of the Paradise. It's a home run in that sense.
All right, Klarissa, you're a post. Where does this sit on the simple 5-point scale, and why? Tell us a bit about your history with the film as well.
Oh, I have such a big history with this film. So this is a 5 for me, but I think it's also due to how nostalgic it is. I am 26, and so I was in kindergarten when this movie came out, and I grew up with musicals in my house. We all loved musicals. I mean, I was singing and in shows since I was 4, and so when this movie came out, I had only like heard a couple of songs from it. But my mom took us to the theaters and we all went and saw it. And so it just like changed all of our lives. I mean, my brother was the Phantom for Halloween. I drew a Phantom mask on my mirror in my bedroom. Like, we all took it way to heart. And I think too, we just hadn't experienced a musical film that way, like being released and seeing it in theaters. And that was like, I remember seeing it even though I was like 5, and just feeling like this adrenaline in my gut. Like, I want to sing these songs. I want to, wow, this is so fun and good. But also it's like, there's some horrific in it. Like, there's the horror side of the story of Phantom of the Opera. And so I remember my parents like covering my eyes when the guy like drops dead in the middle of the play. And, but as I got older, I kind of realized, like, with Gerard Butler singing, he is definitely, I think, like the performance that takes the cake, not singing wise, but absolutely emotionally. At the end, when he says, "Christine, I love you," and he's handing back this ring, or she hands back the ring, it's just gut wrenching. He's so good at that. But Emmy Rossum, she's a little tricky. She can absolutely sing the notes, but again, like you said, she is like deadpan the majority of the film. And she was only 17 when she made this. And so I think too, I'm like, this is, I mean, again, she was so amazing. I definitely think she was right for the part, but I do think that like she needed maybe a little bit more time to grow into herself, to like figure out how to emotionally play that part. But I don't know, again, Christine Daae was like 14 when the Phantom started grooming her. Like, in the book, he starts grooming her at a really young age, and he's like in his 50s in the book, I think. It's like a massive age gap.
Gross.
And so I'm like, it's really freaking nasty. Yeah. But I respected that, like, she was a little bit younger, so we felt that like innocence of Christine, and like, no, I'm someone being like manipulated, taken advantage of. But again, there's like Patrick Wilson's role as Raoul, and you're like, you're also just as freaking bad. Like, she is so young. Get out of here. But anyway, I think the singing from the two of them, very good. Gerard Butler definitely needed some work, but he emotionally did it well. I think one of the most beautiful and underappreciated parts of this film is the set and the costumes. It is just like stunning. They went full bore. There's a stage adaptation recorded of Phantom of the Opera that has Ramin Karimloo and Sierra Boggess, which is amazing. It's so good. I don't love Sierra Boggess' acting, but the stage adaptation just cannot do what this film does. And I think that that's why they made it, was really like, I mean, they burnt down that whole set. They actually burnt it down. And so like, there was no second take. It's like, we're in it, we're doing it. And I think it makes so much more sense of the book, especially going like down into the layer of like realizing she didn't leave the opera house. This is like a river under the opera house, like connected. And the stage adaptation doesn't really have that. Masquerade is not as beautiful on stage. They're all like really weird colors. And so I liked the black and white feel to this. The golds, it feels very Parisian opera house. But with the music, I will say they actually turned quite a few songs into dialogue from the
Oh, wow.
original
Okay.
musical. So there was more dialogue than the actual musical. And I think that the whole letter scene should have been dialogue. I agree 100% with that one. That actually comes to mind a lot because it's a silly little song with like the owners, but when it just keeps going with everyone else coming, it doesn't make as much sense. But yeah, a few of the conversations on stage that are sung as opposed to spoken in the movie, I appreciate them being spoken. But yeah, so lots of thoughts and feelings on this movie. Christine Daae was my dream role when I was like 7 to 18. But yeah, so anyway, but yeah, story wise, it does align a lot with Phantom of the Paradise. So it'll be fun to kind of get into the nitty gritty of that. But yes, this is a big thumbs up for me on this movie.
Good stuff. Right, my turn.
Mhm.
So, I watched this for the first time, and actually, my expectations were actually quite high for this. I love a good musical. Knowing this has been running in London, in particular, for 39 years, like it's got to be top notch to keep running for that long. I expect it to be chock full of excellent songs that were going to be catchy and that I was going to be humming for the rest of the day afterwards, or at least carry me through the duration easily. But this was very much not the case for me with this one. I really didn't like it. Similar to Carl, I was just very disappointed with it because I had such high hopes for it. The songs in particular, like they're not what I like in a musical. And I think it probably comes down to, as you said there, Klarissa, if essentially it's all songs rather than any kind of dialogue and spoken word. I think that maybe translates into the type of songs because there's I don't know, they're not full on of big booming choruses and things such as that. One exception was the music of the night. I was humming that one afterwards, and still can be caught just humming and singing that quietly to myself. But the production was also full of the part of musicals I really don't like, which is the when they're like singing over each other and they're kind of like clashing, and you can't really understand what any of them are saying. Which, because it's kind of replacing a lot of sort of dialogue, I do actually need to know what they're saying so I can understand what's going on a little bit there. Plus, how many times do they say Christine in this? They just keep on saying her name. It's like we know what she's called. You don't have to keep saying Christine. Oh, Christine.
Yeah.
Yes, we get it. She's called Christine. But the costumes are great. The sets are great. I was just a little bit bored by this, and just more than anything, I was just really disappointed because I genuinely thought I'd be able to come on here and say I at least liked it, and maybe even really liked it, and I would get a kick out of seeing Jerry Butler sing. But
This is the most aligned sign I have ever been on a musical.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not often that we agree this closely, for sure.
Yeah, finally, he's talking sense.
Yes. But yeah, in terms of the mashup, yeah, exactly what you've both always said. It's very much the plot driven, and there are songs, so that works too. All right, we will move on to Phantom of the Paradise and begin our deep dive. But before we do that, let's just check out where we are on the simple 5-point scale. And I'll kick things off this time. And whilst I liked Rocky Horror, and whilst I really didn't like Phantom of the Opera, this one I'm kind of in the middle. I can't make up my mind. I'm going to say I'm ambivalent on this at the moment because there's a lot of things that I like. There's a lot of things that I didn't maybe quite vibe with on it. So I'm kind of fence sitting a little bit. I did have quite a lot of fun with it. I thought the music in this was great and a complete contrast to, say, Phantom of the Opera, where the songs themselves in this don't seem very related to the movie and the goings on that are happening so much. They're just great performances that happen, and you kind of like, yeah, that's great. That's 3.5-4 minutes of just a little musical interlude. But no, I didn't totally vibe with the film overall. I'm genuinely glad that I've seen this though, Klarissa. So I do want to thank you for doing it, because I'd literally never heard of this before, and I was just like, Phantom of the I literally had to IMDb, go on there and go, it's Brian De Palma. Brian De Palma did a musical quite fairly early on in his career as well. So yeah, I'm ambivalent on it, but thank you, Klarissa, for getting me to watch it, because I think I'm gonna look forward to. I'm gonna enjoy talking about this in some more depth.
Hmm.
So, Klarissa, what about you? Where's this on your scale, and why?
This is a 4 for sure. It's not like really up there, but I will say I listen to this music all the way through at least probably 2 or 3 times a year because it's just so fun. Um, I I really like Jessica Harper's voice. She is so good. I actually didn't even double check if it's her doing the singing. I should, but I was like, I actually think it is. But whoever sings those songs, it is just so beautiful. I really like that deep. I mean, it feels like Carpenters, which is fun, and I love Carpenters. So I love that. But also, I really love 70s kind of like horror thriller movies that are made this way, where they play with shadows and colors. And this movie is visually so cool. It is so cool when he's like breaking into the record label and he's in this tiny hall and they're referencing Faust. So you can see some of the like nods to the original silent Faust film, which is fun. Um, and I I only know Paul Williams from Princess Diaries. So I thought it was really funny. I'm like, wait, that's the guy from Princess Diaries, and he's like here, supposed to be this like head honcho. I don't know, but it was really funny. And I saw this movie with some friends who were in a film program years before I started mine and like decided to minor in it. And so I just sat and listened to them pick it apart the first time I watched it. And that was really fun as I was noticing, like moods tied to colors specifically and like costumes and what they were communicating. And you see that a lot with like Beef and even Jessica Harper's character. She gets more confident as Phoenix. And so it was really fun to kind of see it that way. But I also just, again, I love musicals from this era. And so I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Good stuff. And over to you, Carl.
Okay, I don't like this film. However, mercifully, this is, in my opinion, comfortably the best of the 3 films that are in this mash. So I'm grateful that this is the one that we're talking about the most today. I don't like it because I still don't like the music. The aesthetic and the approach is just a little too abstract and certainly too chaotic for me. But for reasons we will discuss, I appreciated this as a proper movie. Brian De Palma saves the day.
All right, good stuff. Well, let's begin our deep dive then by looking at the production. And let's start with the man who has saved the day, Carl, Brian De Palma himself. Were you familiar with this, Carl, when it came up? Did you know
No.
this was a De Palma film? You knew it was in his filmography?
No, didn't know it was De Palma until his name popped up on the screen. There's 2 things I would single out about De Palma here. One, Klarissa, you've already mentioned. It is classic De Palma in a lot of ways, in the way he uses shadows and things like that. There's so much noir going on here a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, it's too chaotic for me at times, but he really knows what he's doing with this film. He had a vision, and he's really gone after that hard. The other thing I really like about what De Palma's doing in this film, he seldom overindulges the musical numbers, because even when they are longer, often there was a split screen, and so the music's playing on one half, but the actual events of the plot are unfolding on the other half, and something's going on. And I think that he is, in this film, first and foremost telling a story. And I don't like the music, I don't like musicals, but I can appreciate that, and that gets me through this So yeah, it's difficult with this. And I can't say I enjoyed it. I definitely appreciated it. I definitely appreciated what he was doing.
Where does this sit, Clarissa, on the other sort of De Palma films, his filmography as a whole? Do you kind of see the through line into his other things, and is this one of your favorite ones of his? Where does it sit in the sort of his pantheon?
Well, honestly, until I was really prepping for this, I feel like I didn't tie them together. This
Mm.
movie was just kind of like one I knew from the title and from a friend before I went into the nitty gritty of the production. And so that was really fun. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy directed Carrie. Like, this is Scarface and Mission
Scarface,
Impossible.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so much here. Um, I absolutely see like the tie there, especially with what you're talking about with like his, shadows, things like that. I mean, really, especially once I pieced together that he also did Carrie, looking at that film and even like prom, the way that he lit prom and like her on that stage. And, I'm like, wow, I am seeing so many parallels here. And stylistically, it's fun to see how it evolved going into different types of films. But clearly, he's got an amazing range of
Mm.
capacity and capability to bring these strengths to his films because all of these are really amazing films on their own. and so it's fun to see like I genuinely did not know that he did Carrie and Mission Impossible. Like when I
Yeah.
watched those, like I never would have figured that. But thinking back and especially that first Mission Impossible when they're piecing together everything that happened and he's reflecting on the night, I'm like, oh yeah, that whole thing was outside, and so it's lit by like street lamps
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
oh, it's just so good. Chef's kiss, but clearly knows how to make movies.
I think it's kind of wild to a point you're making there. This film and Scarface are like 10 years apart. They're less than
Mm.
10 years apart.
Mhm.
And you just think, how does a director go from that to that?
Yeah.
Well, he
Then you've got
does.
Literally.
The Untouchables after that. He
Yeah.
obviously has Bonfire of the Vanities in between. Then Carlito's Way. You got the Mission Impossible, and then some of the more recent bits were maybe not quite as successful. Snake Eyes. I'm not actually seen Snake Eyes. That's is that the Nick
Nick
Cage
Cage.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mission to Mars, and the Black Dahlia or Dahlia. I never know how to say that word. I get it wrong every time.
Black. Yeah. I can't
I
remember
have no
either.
idea.
Stunning film. Very boring.
Oh no. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that one. It's been on the list, but
Sadly, yeah, a bit of a disappointment, but yeah.
darn it. Yeah.
So
Oh,
let's stick.
you might like it, but unfortunately, it's rated in a way that suggests most don't.
Mm.
Let's stick with how this looks then, and what De Palma's doing with it. Now, Chris, you said you love the sort of 70s movies and all of this. Tell us a bit more about how this looks and why you like it.
Well, I think there's so much of this that I mean, we're also clearly like seeing that there are ties to Phantom of the Opera. Not even, I mean, again, this one that we watched was not in existence, but we had the book, we had Lon Chaney, we had Claude Rains, we had a lot of different like adaptations. And so seeing how the Paradise actually has some of these like gothic looks. It's like an older theater. It's very beautiful. When he's standing next to Winslow, like we have Winslow and Swan standing next to each other, and he's like, "Why are you taking my music?" And he's in this like creepy mask, and they're standing in front of all of these like gold insanely embellished mirrors that just feel like you're in a museum. I mean, there were just these random tidbits where it was so embellished to look a little bit original like that. And then you have like his 70s lounge where all these ladies are there and there's like silks and satins and but there's like 70s looking chandeliers and throws and I mean it's just such a funny almost juxtaposition of the two.
Yeah.
But I actually just feel like it was done really well. I feel like one thing that was built so much with the theater looking the way it was, that just really made that like ending with beef stand out to me was that he was killed with like a neon sign.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I didn't even question that the neon sign fit in. I was just like, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Like that exists here because this world that was built was just so extravagant and like left so many possibilities for like my imagination where I'm like, okay, yeah, like that makes sense to me. I'm not gonna like question that.
Yeah, death by neon lightning sign, basically, wasn't it?
Oh
That was,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it's the
Classic.
way you would have wanted to go. Let's face it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. What about you, Carl? What anything on the looks and stylings
Yeah,
of
I
it?
mean, and I think again, it is all really deliberate. It's like a collage of like rock and opera tropes,
Mm.
Mhm.
and that we see that show up in the plot as well, in the way that it's all about playing to trends, and it's not really about the art; it's about subverting the art for materialistic gain. And yeah, just a very, very. I don't like it, but it's a very, very deliberately made film, and it really
Mhm.
works for what it's going for.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the aesthetics of it, and I think getting onto the makeup of the things that the creation of the Phantom and that look, like you just see the picture of that on, say, like the front cover or the poster, and it's just so weird. You're looking, you're just like, who came up with this look?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Based on how they've done it, and even the makeup that they've done for when he's getting his face squished, and then even with Swan as well, when the old Swan is revealed, and it's very, it's not over the top, but it's very striking. I guess
Mhm.
they're not going for subtlety
no,
here in
but
any
how
way.
do you parody that, right? And in a sense, he's a bit of a visionary here, because the 70s and the 60s, in certain ways, were so different in terms of fashion. In terms of
Mhm.
how everything goes from slim fitting to huge flares and all that sort of stuff, right? And if you're trying to have a take on, almost parody the trends and how they change, and how do you parody that? How do you exaggerate more than that's already been? And actually, he kind of gets some stuff that shows up in the 80s, like some of the garish neon lights and things like that, for
Mm.
instance.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know how you parody that. I mean, you do it like he does here. You just throw it all together in a mixing pot, and you go bigger and louder and more chaotic, and it works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a few references in there to various other pieces that you've got in terms of plot wise. You got the picture of Dorian Gray, and there's a Frankenstein element, particularly in one of the musical numbers, and then the split screen car, which you called out with the time bomb in the car, is a for the opening of Touch of Evil, which I watched the clip of after having read that, and it is bang on. That opening for Touch of Evil is so good, and it's definitely being referenced and imitated here, without the split screen. But that use of the split screen is so, like, it just seamlessly goes into it, and it's basically like a single edit as you're going through. You know what's going to be happening. You're seeing the performance. You're seeing a progress of the of the story whilst this other bit's going
Yeah.
on. Really, really, really smart and clever use of it, I thought.
Mhm. Did you also catch the Citizen Kane reference? Kind of funny when they're doing like this monologue about Swan wanting to build this empire of rock and his Xanadu, which is like directly from Kane, is like
Yeah.
building his Xanadu, and then it goes in on Paul Williams' lips, and he says like the paradise, and it's just like Rosebud.
Rosebud.
So it's kind of
Ooh.
funny, like to see even that, and I didn't notice it until this watch because I'd also just seen Citizen Kane recently, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of nice. Kind of weird, but nice.
Yeah. No, it's always good when you notice those things on the subsequent watches that you just don't pick up before, and I think that's always a good show of a strong production side of things, that the people have they've hidden these things, those references, these influences within there.
Mhm.
Um, what about the music then? Let's get to the score and the musical numbers from this. I personally love the music. Sorry, Carl. from the from the opening number with the juicy fruits. Like, I love the juicy fruits. Give me more juicy fruits.
Yeah,
that
you
was
want more
fantastic.
doo-wop.
Yeah,
They're fun.
it
Yeah,
was
way
so
fun.
fun. And the physical comedy that was kind of going on in that, like the visual humor that was being showed as a go. Like I was just like, because that basically pretty much opens the film, right? I was like sitting forward in my seat, almost going like, yes, I hope there's more of this. This is good fun.
Yeah. So fun. I really love the song Faust, but William Finley is not a singer. And that's the hard thing, is that song, when he's playing it on the piano, you like hear this powerful piano. It's so beautiful. But he just doesn't have like quite the voice for it. And so when Jessica Harper is singing it on the stairs and it's just this beautiful, smooth, like low voice, I felt like that was better. We just didn't see it, other than all these ladies squawking like birds and then hearing her for a second. And I was like, oh, I want to hear her at the piano with that song. Like, that's the version I want on Spotify. The one we have on Spotify is William Finley. Bless his heart. I just don't love it. But I do love the song itself. And I also really love Beef's song at the end, actually, when he's like rocking out. And I think that's a fun song. It's a little long, and of course there's like the plot going on too, but that chorus and the guitar is really fun. And again, I feel like to listen to it outside of this movie is weird. It feels unnatural because it's like, oh, we're supposed to be seeing things happening. And this song was clearly written to have things happening like a musical, but that chorus is awesome. I think it's fun.
Yeah, and even the song that precedes that with the undead, the somebody super like you bit that then feeds into that was
Yeah.
and I did like the touch. It's the same, it's the same band being three different bands essentially as they go from the juicy fruits to the beach bums, to the undead. And each of their songs are great. Like the second one, the beach bums one, upholstery, fantastic. Name a song upholstery.
I mean, you'll just lap any old rebadge stuff up, won't you? I mean, that's proven De Palma's point.
Yeah. Well, exactly. That's why I appreciated it, because
no, totally.
Yeah.
Phoenix songs though, I didn't love her songs as much. They weren't quite as catchy. They are good, but I don't know. It seems like a different kind of feel when she's singing, because all of the songs are basically almost like performed on stage, aren't they? Like all the big numbers are essentially performed as a concert. Her one, she kind of grabs the mic and is kind of walking around, and it's less of a performance, as it were, and it's a very different feel, but a lovely voice, as you've already said.
So slow. That song, like Our Love is an Old Love, or it is so slow. That's probably like one of the harder ones for me, because it's like we're supposed to have this like upbeat energy, and I mean she definitely juxtaposes that and pulls back the energy to make like a statement of her voice, and I think that like makes a statement. But I liked her other one in her auditions. What is it, like the Someone Like You song, where she does this weird little dance move with her jacket, and it's so funny. But yeah, those were her stronger songs, so I thought that was an interesting choice. But yeah, again, like she's got a cool voice. I wish that they had her really perform like the way that these other bands did, because we could have had some really awesome songs with her too in that way. But I agree.
Oh, what else you got on production?
No.
You got anything else, Klarissa, on the production side of things you want to call out?
I will just say I think Winslow's transformation is crazy fun. I mean, it just builds the deepest seed of like injustice in the story, where I mean, you have that American flag. There's nothing else in the room. There's like the American flag and the judge, and then him turning around and saying, "Swan stole my music and he framed me." And it's like so powerful and good. And then immediately they're like, "We're taking your teeth." What? And then his face, I mean, having his face deformed in the record maker, like that press, crazy. crazy. I mean, just wild. But it was such a fun, like, oh, what is that called? When it's like the birth of a villain. What is that? Like a crucible of events? I don't know. Anyway, that like all of these catalytic events were just so good. I feel like there's a name for it, but I'll
Oh,
figure it out later
more
in my life.
intelligent people than us, Clarissa, would be able to tell
Mm.
you, but
I'm sure.
unfortunately, yeah,
Anyone can
you're on
message
the wrong
me.
podcast for that one, I'm afraid.
I am in the wrong head. I have no idea what I'm trying to say. I just know it exists. but but yeah, I think that that is a really like cool series of and visually cool series of catalytic events to get
Yeah.
him to that basement with all the tech and writing music and his creepy looking mask, and it's like, how did he get there? Oh, here it is. That's how I got there.
It sprints there as well. Like it goes from one to
Oh
the
yeah.
next, one to the next, really, really rapidly, which I think I really appreciated. The
Hmm.
record press that he gets that this figures in was in a real pressing plant is for injection molding, and he actually put his head in that thing. They tried to kind of set it up to make it safe, like put chocks in it and put these safety things. They kind of failed, so they literally pulled him out just before he would have been a squish pumpkin, essentially.
Oh
Mm.
my gosh.
There's he plays it up a little bit in terms of in public appearances and stuff, saying that the scream that you hear is real. That's real. That's his real scream. Not true because they weren't even recording sound when they did it. But yeah, I think
Okay.
he tried to sow the seed there that it was a little bit dangerous from that side of things. But you know, we talk about physical effect, practical effects. We'd like to see it, preferably not with squashing people's heads
No.
like a fruit. But yeah, anyhow. Um, and also the other sort of little tidbit that I picked up during sort of the background reading of this, that in the original screenplay, um, the villainous character Swan was named Spectre, and that character was loosely based on the record producer Phil Spector. Uh, so I thought that was an interesting thing because he didn't he turn out to be
Yeah.
quite a wrong un, old Phil Spector. Pretty sure he's you know, let's cut this out, Carl, in case he's completely innocent of everything. But I'm pretty sure he
Oh,
murdered
I'm glad
someone.
you said that because I was just going to say, I mean, it's odds on that he did in that industry, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's definitely cut that out.
yeah. All right.
Oh
Should we
no,
move on?
he's dead. You can't libel the dead. That's fine.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, you can't libel the dead.
All right, good stuff. Oh, there you go. Jailed for murder. Done. See, told you it was a wrong one.
Yeah, good.
All right, so let's move on to the plot. And first thing I want to lead with is it's a lot more coherent than Rocky Horror, and a lot more interesting than Phantom of the Opera. Although obviously we are saying that the plot elements definitely coming from Phantom of the Opera.
Totally agree. I mean, this is one of the main reasons I would say this is by far the best of the three films. Look, Phantom of the Opera, amazing production values in terms of the sets and costumes, if we said. I agree with that. Rocky Horror, I think, has got some pretty good commentary in there, but the plot is completely nonsensical. This, I think, is doing a really smart job of having some commentary in there, which we can talk about a little bit, but it has got a very, very solid, very, very easy to understand plot that moves nicely. And actually, for my money, if we're talking about the parallels and the mashup, does a much better job with some of the Phantom of the Opera lore than Phantom of the Opera does. Like, the Phantom and his motivations, we see him here being mutilated in pursuit of his dreams, and he watches them being snatched away from him. It's easy to understand how he could become who he is. In Phantom of the Opera, he's all lovey-dovey one minute, he takes his mask off, and then he gets a bit cross. And the next minute he's hanging someone in the middle of the stage, and you're like, what the hell? And then it turns out it's because people were mean to him when they saw his birthmark as a kid and laughed at him a little bit. And it's all so weak and haphazard in that film. But here, it's despite the chaos and the campness, here it's much better. It's much clearer. It's better told. So I think the plot's a real strong point of this film overall, as a general observation.
What do you think, Clarissa?
Oh, that's so funny. I I think it's really interesting to have everything that happens with him happen because of Swan.
Hmm.
And so, like, it does target that anger towards that, but it also shows that he's so easily manipulated because Swan has
Yeah,
him go right back to that contract, you know? So, there are definitely bigger messages there of like, I
this is
mean,
it.
honestly, who's the true artist? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
whose work is being stolen?
Well,
And
who's the true villain as well? Because
yeah,
it's not just because of Swan, because nobody makes him sign that contract. Nobody makes him
yeah,
take the opportunity that Swan's given him. He is
yeah.
willing to sacrifice a lot and make a lot of bad decisions in pursuit of
Mhm.
his own art. And so I think it's really skillful the way that it's asking those questions.
Totally. I will say we do get a little bit more of the Phantom story, like in Phantom of the Opera, of just that he was like sold into the circus for like his face deformity. So I think with everything that happens, it's like we see Phantom of the Opera, like this, I think his name is Eric. Like Eric's
Yeah.
journey is like, I've had to hide because people are cruel to me. And Winslow's is, I became this creature because of the cruelty
Hmm.
of that people did to me. And so there's like a shift in those dynamics, but the plots line up so much in different ways, which I think is fun. And I think it's fun that we actually have it's almost like self-aware in the sense that it's like we're going to do a rock opera. It's like
Yeah.
Phantom of the Opera. That's what
Yeah.
we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And so it's just there's so much self-awareness of like what they're referencing. It's like you can't not admit that this is that. Honestly, I would have had us do like one of the older Phantoms, but I just haven't seen them in years, and so I'm not sure how the plot lines up as nicely compared to this. I'm sure we see a little bit of a different perspective with like the Lon Chaney adaptation from I think that's the 20s
Hmm.
or the 30s. I think it's silent. Um,
Yeah, it is silent.
but yeah, but I just haven't seen it in so long. But there's a difference in the way that his is told because his deformity is literally his whole face. It's not like a lot of people joke around about Gerard Butler's
Yes.
because I mean, especially during this time, people were like, "I could fix him. He's still hot, whatever." And they're like, "Okay, he has like a sunburn. It
Yeah, yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
a really bad sunburn."
I think if you had picked the 20s version, a silent musical would be right up Carl's alley. I think he'd be well up for that.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
get rid of the main bit you don't like about musicals, Carl. So you know.
Oh
I mean,
man.
I think in terms of the plot for this, so it is a little bit sort of prophetic, I guess, because this is showing that a big producer person essentially taking over the shifting the from the creative to try and give it to someone who's got the image to regardless of whether they have that same talent to make it fit. And I think as
Hmm.
time has progressed from the 70s onwards to the modern day, you kind of see that a lot more where it's very well. I don't know if so much now, but definitely the last sort of 20 years, you have these big producer folks who will have a whole system in place, and then they'll just have someone as a sort of a front man for that. And then you'll hear all these stories about the original creative getting completely ripped off and has made no money off of all of this, or even the front person not making any money either, because they haven't written the song or whatever. So sort of a no-win situation. So yeah, kind of quite like that. Always like it when you see a sort of an older film that definitely sort of translates forward, and you can kind of go like, oh, I wonder if they saw that coming, or if that's just luck.
Well, I mean, I would have said that stuff was already happening and possibly been happening for a long time. If you read some of the stuff about the Beatles and their time in Germany and literally being given drugs to keep them awake to play a certain amount of gigs in a night, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, the plot for me, I like it. There's some really good commentary folded in on here from both sides of it. Right, we can easily demonize the record execs in the industry, but it's also from the other side, like the pursuit, the dedication to the artistry, and the sacrifice and decisions that people will make to do that, to get their vision of something out there. And we also see it as well with Phoenix, because she's kind of happy. She just wants to make it. she's kind of happy to be manipulated. She'll go with whoever, as long as she gets to sort of make it as well. So there's almost like three prongs on there. There's a great line when they're asking Beef to put his own stamp on something, and make it yours. And he sort of rises to the occasion and goes, "Yeah, you're right. I will make it mine." Whatever he actually says. But there's a great line because he goes, "I don't know how to do that." It's like, you heard it. Just make it yours. Nobody cares what it's about. Nobody cares what anything is about.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant line because that is exactly how most people consume art and music. They just take in whatever is fed to them in that given moment. And actually, I think there's something in the ending on that note as well, because they kind of think the ending, as it devolves into bloodshed and chaos, is all part of the show, and they just applaud it. And then that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the show will go on. Not that show. That show's finished. But there'll be another show. And that was all good. Yeah, we don't really care. That was good, wasn't it? So yeah, I think I like the plot as a whole because I think it's pretty coherent, but I also think it's quite smart and manages to weave in a few different perspectives and bits of commentary in there as well.
We haven't talked about the how he gets his voice and that whole aspect of it. I thought that was really clever. The fact that you obviously is this creative person who's a singer, can't sing, and Swan gives him his voice, and that voice is actually Paul Williams's voice as well, from the sort of the tuney thing. But I thought from a sort of a creative perspective, that was really like to come up with that, and essentially this voice box tuner thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was great fun.
Yeah. Well, I think too, it like speaks to those deeper themes of he's sitting there singing and he's not saying, why doesn't this sound like my voice? He just keeps going.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I think it just goes back to everything that Swan really kind of like represents. And he even says to Winslow, like, you're basically nothing now. Like, this is an opportunity. This is really good. And he's like, okay. I mean, it's just wild. But yeah, there's just such a massive theme there of like, I mean, oh gosh, can you even name just one? It's like what people will do for the art form, what people will do to make it, what people will do even just for fame, or like, because honestly, if you think about it, it would be such a bummer. But if Winslow had just said, "Oh, I've been cheated out of that song,"
Yeah.
that's really unfortunate. I'm gonna have to live with that, but I'm gonna do what I can
Yes.
in a way. You know what I mean? So it's just like the commitment to all of these emotions, or I think the whole thing really is just about commitment to like fame, commitment to building an empire, commitment to, is it actually making art, or so it's just there's a lot there.
It's been a while, Carl, but I'm going to talk about taglines, which I've been through a bit of a phase of doing, but there were a couple for this that I thought were really quite good. So one of them is "The music made him do it," which I thought is
So
actually it's pretty much bang on.
Mm.
And then "He sold his soul for rock and roll," which
Can't argue with it.
it's.
And I tell you what, if this is the film that's come up with that tagline, fair play.
Yeah,
because that sounds like something that's been ripped off 1,000 times, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I have no idea if they've originally come up with that, but it's
good
on the poster.
It's good.
Well, I mean, it's so fun because it's like the whole thing about Faust is like he sold his soul.
He literally sold his soul, yeah.
And then it's like he just goes and sells his soul. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, for sure. I did like the aspect where he brings in the suitcase full of pills, and he's just like, breakfast pick me up.
Yeah,
which is as you were saying, Carl, as well. It's basically what you just saying about the Beatles in Germany, right? It's just like, here, don't care, force feed you with pills because we need to get this finished so that we can open the paradise.
Yeah.
What else on the plot?
Again, from a sort of pacing and storytelling point of view, how welcome Beef's interjection is at the end as a real pick-me-up. Because I think he's a great character, and he's such a loud performance as he comes in. I think that really worked. I think that was he was fun. That made for a fun third act.
Oh yeah. I think he's a really great like tie to the Carlotta character of just being completely over the top.
Mm.
Like, I think that Carlotta's character as this like classical operatic singer in Phantom of the Opera, having like a character like that come in, and later on, where it's not like we're seeing Beef and Jessica Harper as Phoenix really at the same time. It's like, here he comes, Beef, it's so fun. But yeah, he's really fun. He's also like visually fun. His costumes are silly and outlandish, and yeah.
So we move on towards the end of the film, where it's revealed that Swan has done the old picture of Dorian Gray thing and kept himself young forever. I mean, is that directly referenced? Is that just a rip-off? Like, what are we giving them points for this? Does it matter?
It's interesting whether you think it would have worked better on an artist rather than the producer, right? But it kind of works for these people who are pursuing image, and this is, eternal youth. You have to make some compromises with that, and what's the cost of that? You become this withered, horrible person, and that's what Dorian Gray's are all about, right? So I think it kind of fits in this space. It's whether you think it would be better directly pushed onto an artist rather than the producer. But he kind of sees himself as a bit of an artist anyway, doesn't he?
Well, I think that's the thing, is that he steals the music.
Yeah.
And then steals even his voice and puts his voice in there, because I think he's also kind of envious of that.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
how
totally.
much of it is I couldn't be an artist, so I'm going to control them all, sort of thing, So I think how many points you want to give it for being for being clever, I don't know, but it works. I think the Dorian Gray thing works. Obviously, the Faust thing as well. It's very, very on the nose and very, very worse. Yeah, deal with the devil. Yeah. Playing along the same lines anyway. But yeah, no, it's good. I enjoyed it.
Well, it's that time. I'm sorry, Klarissa, but it is that time of the episode where we put Carl against our guest for the week and test their movie knowledge in a game somewhat related to the movies covered in the episode. Now, just so you know, currently,
helpful to have this on record, because I think this was before we started recording. Did you say you have a degree in something, Klarissa? What was that?
Not yet. Nearly.
Oh, you're studying.
Not yet. I'm working on a film studies minor, so it's not my main degree, but it is my minor.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Just right. But it will be an accreditation. Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Just I think that's useful to get. I think that's interesting to everybody
Context,
at home.
is it? Is that good
I think that's
context
useful
you
to
need?
get on record. I think.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So currently, Klarissa, guests are beating Carl 3-2 in the 5 episodes that we've had. He started off well.
Yeah, well, they've all had degrees too, probably. I don't know.
Slip away.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
Now, I've called this game Overtures Ensemble. Now, I wanted a name relating to musicals, and I thought, I know what else Carl doesn't like. He doesn't like Marvel, so I'll do something that sounds like Avengers Assemble as well, just to get 2 things. I was also tempted by Les Ensemble. I couldn't say it. Ensemble, but that doesn't work. Phantom of the Ensemble doesn't really work either. I decided to combine those 2 things that Carl doesn't like: musicals and Marvel. The quiz isn't related to either of those things. Don't worry. Just want to come up with a name. But I do also have a theme song, Klarissa. So I'm very sorry, but here you go. It's astounding. Carl takes a beating. The guests are no fools. Listen closely. Not for very much longer.
Oh, he's double tracking now.
I've got to tell you the rules. I remember watching some movies, thinking, oh, look, it's him and him and him. There's so many actors. So I'm gonna list them, and you will guess what the film is from them. Guess what the film is from them. I think it's my best work. that I've ever
I
done. I'll be
love
honest.
that so much.
So, in case you weren't following the lyrics and understanding what the heck you've got to do now, I'm going to start listing the cast for a famous ensemble film. And Klarissa and Carl are going to buzz in when they think they know the right answer, the name of the film that ensemble is on. So, one more thing. If you make an incorrect guess, the other person will get a free shot before I then start revealing any more of the ensemble cast. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, there's 5 rounds, best of 5 wins. And I've numbered the films 1 to 5. And I like to always give Carl the choice of where he wants to start from 1 to 5. But I'm going to give you the chance, Klarissa, to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one do you want to start with?
Let's just start with 3. Let's go right like in the middle there.
Good stuff. All right, so starting at number 3, which is a perfectly great place to start. The first actor, Shea Wiggum.
Be bold, be bold, be bold.
Michael Pena.
Oh, Carl. Are we going The Martian?
No.
No.
Incorrect. So, Klarissa, you get a free guess if you want before I start revealing the next one.
I don't know either of those names.
You'll know him if you see him.
Actually. I'm sure I would. Yeah, you'll have to keep going.
All right. Louis C.K.
Oh, that's a curveball.
Jeremy Renner. Bradley Cooper. Jennifer Lawrence. Amy Adams.
Klarissa?
Go ahead, Klarissa.
American Hustle?
It is American Hustle, yes.
Oh, what?
Would have been
That's
Christian Bale the
actually
last one.
crazy. Gotcha. Nice. I haven't even seen that movie. I just
see?
remember it in that year in the Academy Awards, and I was like, oh, I should watch that movie.
Saw it at the cinema. It was fine.
Yeah, I think I saw that at cinema as well. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah. Carl, 1, 2, 4, or 5. You get to pick the next one.
I go to 1, please.
Number 1, right? Yeah, surprising.
It's at the start, isn't it?
Okay, you ready? So the first actor, Shea Wiggum.
Oh, hang on now.
John Berenthal.
Oh, Carl, it's The Wolf of Wall Street.
It is The Wolf of Wall Street.
Nice.
Wow, nice one, Carl. So it's 1 apiece. Klarissa, which one? 2, 4, or 5?
Let's do 5.
5. Okay, we ready? Michael Caine. Cillian Murphy. Ken Watanabe.
Carl, Inception.
It is Inception. Oh, that was a tricky one because all
gonna
3
say
of those
Batman.
people also in Batman Begins as well.
Yeah.
And then I was going to go Tom Hardy. Still could. Oh, you would have been going Batman maybe as
Yeah.
well.
I 50-50'd it. I've struck lucky there. That's what's
I was
happening.
sitting there for a second, and I was like, wait, which Batman? Say the right Batman.
Yeah.
Batman Begins is the one I've seen the least. So I was like, I think that's it. But then it was Inception. Great job.
All right, 2-1 to Carl. So Carl, 2 or 4?
I'd like to go for 2, please.
Number 2. Okay, you're ready for this one. Steve Buscemi. Tim Roth. Harvey Keitel.
Carl, Reservoir Dogs.
Incorrect.
Oh, I'm not positive. You'll have to keep going.
All right. Christopher Walken. Bruce Willis.
I'm gonna have to say Carl. I'm gonna say Pulp Fiction.
It is Pulp Fiction.
It's the other one.
Okay, I haven't seen Pulp Fiction, so that's why.
On your list of 200 and whatever films that you should remember.
It's on there. I need to. I really do need to watch it.
Such a treat, though. To the point of the thing that you're doing, it'd be such a treat to get through some of these films.
Oh, I'm so excited. Andrew Korn said to me, he was like, I just am so excited that Klarissa gets to experience it for the first time, because what I wouldn't give to go back and experience that for the first time.
I realized I just did that thing, Klarissa, that you complained at right at the start when we started talking, that people go like, how have you not seen that?
Yeah.
So I do apologize.
Loud, though. You guys are like nice, so it doesn't matter. It's the people who are like, they haven't even seen most of the films that I've seen, and they're like, oh, you haven't seen... You know, like if I hadn't seen Inception, that would be a great deal. I'm like, okay, great, you've seen Inception. You know what I mean?
Simon and I both saw 12 Angry Men for the first time like a couple of years ago. And it was such a treat to find a film that you see on all of these lists.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and go, oh, no, it is that good.
Yeah.
It
And that's
lifts
one
up.
on your list, actually,
Such a
Clarissa. And that's
joy.
quite an early episode on your podcast.
Yes.
You've done that
Oh
recently.
yeah, I only had seen that movie once, and I took a movie out of my book and I put it in.
That's how good it
I
is.
was like,
is so good.
that. Yeah, I took Big out, which Sarah Shea had some feelings about, and I was like, don't worry, Big will make an appearance again. But I feel like I've got to swap 12 Angry Men for Big. Like that's an easy,
Yeah.
Yeah. Big.
There were levels, aren't
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to finish this off. Even though Carl has taken an unassailable 3-1 lead, we're going to finish off with number 4. Just see who can get this one. Okay. Dennis Farina.
Oh, I couldn't. No, I have to give it a go.
Go on.
I'm going to go, Carl. I'm going to say Snatch.
No.
All
He's
right,
in
okay.
Snatch, though, so
Fine.
good shout. Okay. Adam Goldberg. Oh, sorry, Klarissa, you should get to have a guess here. Sorry, yeah. Of the
That's
one,
okay.
of the one
No,
actor's thing.
I was like,
Name
I
a
have
film
no idea.
from Dennis Farina's back catalogue.
I'm
Okay.
just thinking, how many ensemble films has Dennis Farina been in? Apparently, at least 2.
At least one more.
Yeah.
All right. Adam Goldberg. Paul Giamatti.
Oh,
Ted Danson. Edward Burns. Tom Sizemore. Matt Damon.
yeah. I think it's got to be. I'm going to have to say Carl and Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
yeah. And then Tom
man.
Hanks
Yeah.
would have got
Right
the
over my
last
head,
one.
you guys. Yeah, I was like, I have no idea. That was hard. I feel like I didn't know names until you got towards the end. So I feel like I really got to dive into movie filmographies more. Who are these people?
You can just, it's difficult sometimes. Freeze.
Yeah, no. But no, there we go. That was Overtures
Carl.
Ensemble.
Oh,
Well
thank you
done,
very
Carl.
much.
You take the win. You level
I leveled
things
it
up.
up.
3-all in the
Yay.
series. So well done there. All right, good stuff. Should we move on to the cast? Where would you like to start first? Who do you want to talk about? Klarissa, where do you want to start with the cast?
Let's start with Jessica Harper.
Jessica Harper, Phoenix. What's your thoughts on Jessica Harper?
I really only have seen a couple movies with her.
Mhm.
I immediately think of Suspiria with her.
Mm-hmm.
She is just so good in that. She's also I didn't know this until like when I was prepping for this, but she plays Jo March in a version of Little Women, which is really fun. I would love to see that. But I have no idea.
Is Jo the sassy one the author, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of funny. I feel like I could have maybe seen her, and maybe it's just because of her role in Suspiria. Have you both seen the original Suspiria?
I've not. No, I've
No.
not seen it. No.
Okay, this movie is like all of the colors and sets and like aesthetics of the 70s in a horror movie that you'll ever want. It is so beautiful, but she's kind of this pacifist. It's like a dance studio that is run by witches in the background. And I mean, really, it's out there, but she's so good. And I think she just also was one of these actresses that fit so aesthetically into this time, but also her performances, the way she holds herself. I don't know. I just really enjoy her.
Ooh. Carl, any thoughts on Jessica Harper?
Yeah, so she's I've only done the sort of the main 4, if you like, Phantom, Swan, Phoenix, and Beef.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the one I've got the fewest notes on, but I also kind of think that fits with the plotting and the story of this movie, because she is the one that is sort of buffeted along by the plot, and she's been passed from one person to the other, and she's going to be this, and then she's going to be this. Swan's shaping her into something. So yeah, she's fine and she works, but I haven't actually got any notes on sort of anything she's particularly doing. But like I say, I think that's by design with the film and that character.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any thoughts about who could have been an alternative if we were to recast in an alternate universe here? Carl, have you got any thoughts? Anyone?
Olivia Newton-John, because
the pipes.
Ooh.
It's the singing,
yeah.
of course, but it's that wide-eyed sincerity of just that, wannabe pop star that will go along with the biz sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been my pick for Phoenix if we were to recast this film.
Yeah. So Sissy Spacek was
Ooh.
up for it, didn't get the part, lost out. She actually worked as a set dresser for the film to assist her boyfriend, who was the film's production designer.
She's almost got too much
Wow.
about her, Sissy Spacek. I love Sissy Spacek.
Yeah. I struggle. Olivia Newton-John came up, and Sissy Spacek, because I knew she had gone for it. I thought, oh, that would be an interesting alternative
Mhm.
for it. But yeah, you're right. She probably, maybe a bit too much for the role that's in it. But she did say when she was working on this film that she did her job so poorly that she ruined a day's worth of filming. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So stick to
Oh,
the
man.
acting, Sissy. Did you have anyone in mind, Clarissa, that you could think could do this instead? Now you can go modern recasting as well, or back in the 70s recasting.
Okay. I mentioned this movie before, but I would say Christy McNichol from the Pirate movie. They made the Pirate movie in 1982. Have you guys heard of the Pirate movie
Not
at all?
No.
Nobody I know has ever heard of it except for my siblings, my parents, because they loved it. It's just like an 80s version of Pirates of Penzance. It's
Okay.
really fun. But she does a really great job as Maybelle in that. And I think that she could have done really well. She's got a fun voice, and she's got almost like the same stature where I feel like you could see her as an up and coming singer, So I
Yeah.
think she could have done well in this role. But I absolutely love Sissy Spacek also came to mind for me. I did not even think of Olivia Newton-John, which makes me so sad because I do, like I said, I love Xanadu. I love Xanadu. I should have thought of it, but so great. Great suggestion.
The Pirate movie looks really fun, by the way. I'm just looking at a
it is
description and a couple of
so
pictures.
fun. It is so fun, you guys. Like they reference, there's a part where they're having like a sword fight, they're fencing, and their swords turn into lightsabers, and they just like have a lightsaber fight as an 80s reference. It's hilarious, but it's also like great 80s music. It's fun. You would love it. You would like it, maybe, actually, Carl.
Yeah. Oh no, she's onto me.
It's not all musical, it's mostly jokes.
No, dear.
Good stuff. Where should we go next? Who should we talk about next? Carl, who do you want to pick?
Let's do Beef. I really liked Beef. He comes in with this Garrett Graham. He comes in with this big performance, and he's a total prick about it. But he's also kind of scared as well. He's also kind of cowardly, and he's always sort of, batting away. You can. What's he saying to me? You can do this as good as any bitch on whatever. And he's like, you don't know the half of it or whatever. And it's great. He really sails in. And I enjoyed him a lot.
I love him in particular when he's going to take a shower. He's got like a bucket full of Coke that he's doing.
That's
There's
right,
a camera watching him. He starts singing in the shower, and then the Phantom comes in, puts a plunger on his face, and and then after that, he's just,
trying to sneak off with a suitcase.
Yeah, he's just like cowardly running away, just like, I'm not going. Oh, are you crazy?
Yeah.
But then still, again, gets convinced that he can. But I think, he's utterly convincing, and the performing part of the performance, if that makes sense, where he's doing the on the big platform shoes and just it reminded me when I was thinking of recasting, like you could get Freddie Mercury doing that. Get Freddie Mercury coming on and doing it. I'm not sure if Freddie Mercury really did much acting or stuff, but you can see him. You could see him doing that. Wouldn't too much of a stretch.
Yeah.
Totally.
What do you think, Klarissa?
Loved him in this role. What is it, Garrett Graham? He was so fun. I really just like so expressive and out there. Kind of brought like a fun side to the. I mean, we have great performances across the board, but we have somebody who walks in and is just completely unapologetically themselves.
Yeah.
And is like, I have this complex, and yes, I do. And like, this is how I'm going to behave, and I don't care. And it's just crazy fun. Recasting is hard. I mean, immediately, I think Tim Curry would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Like Tim Curry could so do this, especially because we've seen him do this, and this would be a really fun setting. Vocally though, I actually would cast I know they shifted around and I had to look it up, but I love my favorite, actually probably my favorite band ever is Scorpions. I love Scorpions. And I was like, I could hear like, oh, what is it? Klaus Meine as like the lead singer of Scorpions do some really fun stuff. Like they'd have to change the key of this, but I think that it'd be really fun to see like a rock star in this role, you know? Um, but I think, yeah, acting wise, Tim Curry, Freddie Mercury's brilliant. That's so fun. It would be really fun to see somebody who is not a singer at all, but could just get up and throw some really wild crap out there.
Because I think they didn't
I
use
don't know
Garrett
who.
Graham's voice for this. I think they did use
Yeah.
someone else
Mm.
for it, and I think that was one of
Mhm.
the regrets that the director, that Brian De Palma had said, that actually his voice, it probably would have been fine to use, because they use his voice when he's singing doing that
Oh.
singing in the shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of regrets
Mm.
not using it.
Mhm.
Carl, did you come up with a recasting? I've done that thing where I've got short-term
I
memory loss.
did. I mean, I don't mind Freddie Mercury as a shout. Tim Curry, totally do it. I'm actually going to borrow somebody from that same movie. Say Meatloaf. I think Meatloaf would walk in,
Yes.
much like he does in Rocky Horror,
Yeah.
and completely steal the show for a moment.
Mhm. So
Um,
fun.
And then obviously Meat's come up until the end as well. Why
Yeah, it
not?
would be very similar, actually, wouldn't it? It would be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Meatloaf.
Mhm.
Good shout. Okay, how about Winslow then? William Finley as Winslow/Phantom.
I think from an acting point of view, it's hard to know what is good and not so good in something so deliberately camp and chaotic. Because
Mhm.
it's almost to the point where you can go, you can just throw anything out there and say that you meant it, because that's part of the aesthetic you're going for and the commentary you go. But he did seem to work pretty well.
Mhm.
Yeah, he he's obviously weird and troubled and menacing in the way that he is. Yeah, good.
I thought it
I
was,
think.
I think it was also good that he wasn't just like a traditionally hunky, attractive guy, a la like Jerry
Mhm.
Butler.
Mm.
In that, like, he's already a little bit strange looking, which kind of then
Yeah.
works. It works for this because
Mm.
you wouldn't want him on stage being a front man for his
No.
stuff, would you? You could see that, and then obviously that's
Mhm.
even exacerbated further with the old record pressing incident. Shall we call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Clarissa? What did you make of William Finley?
I really enjoyed him in this role. I do think you have to have a certain look to make this role work. But also he like put his whole heart into the performance. Like I talked about that court scene and he was completely believable, but even when he's like super beat up and he's like, "No, that's my song." And the police are like, "Well, we found drugs in your bag." And he's just like, I mean, he's just so good across the board with that performance wise. And I do think that he takes like this phantom role very nicely, where we did
Mm.
see him as this kind of sweet, optimistic, not the like, I mean, what's the phrase they used to say that was super rude? What, like a face for radio?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're not a stage face, but you're face for radio. Like you're clearly talented. And so I think that he was like perfectly cast, except for his vocals. Like really, I kind of touched on that. That song is so beautiful, and I think like listening to it, I think it should have been a little bit more that there was someone who is very deliberately a singer, for Swan to then be like, yeah, that's the song. Like I'm paying attention. We had the Juicy Fruits in there, fun, silly, and have the energy. But I'm like, I just was listening to this song, and I'm like, I'm
I
just
think
not
that-
sold with those vocals.
I think that's where he really works as a character, right? Because the point
Mm.
is he can't really sing, but he's a great artist. That's why they're going to take his music. They're going to get someone else
Use
to
it for
sing it.
someone
Repackage
else.
it.
To your point,
Yeah.
why have they done that with the soundtrack? At that point, they can put the version of the song that you want out there and go, well, we're going to make this a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just committing to the commentary to the very end there. I don't know.
They are. Just
Yeah.
holding true to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was particularly good in the sort of manic parts of it when he's sort of trying to track
Mhm.
down Swan before he has his accident. He's like goes to the record studio. She gets open the Rolodex. should have called this out in plot because I did think that was a really nice, funny bit. You scroll through, it's like never to be seen, or
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice touch. But then he kind of goes
Mm.
into that whole manic bit where everything's just going wrong, and you can just see it on his face. He does that
Mhm.
part really well, and you can see how that then translates to the Phantom. So yeah, he
Yeah.
does well. Who could do it better though? Who could recast?
Mm.
Any
Better's
ideas?
tough, isn't it?
It is a tough one. I've gone for one I don't
Yeah.
think works. Sticking with the Brian De Palma theme, and he did at least a couple of films with this guy. We know he can act. Not sure if he can sing, but maybe that doesn't matter for this role. Al Pacino.
There we go.
Not sure he'd do it. I'll be
No.
honest.
No, but I think that trying to see him in that and like, oh, I could see it.
Carl, any thoughts?
Oh man.
Michael Crawford.
Ooh, that's fun. Original
So-
Phantom of the
Yeah,
Opera.
I was gonna say I know that name from being related to Phantom of the Opera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's funny about that is I didn't realise that until after I'd written him down, because I
Nice.
think about his sort of bumbling energy. He would fit what Winslow Leach was very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we see all the things that, because it's tempting for somebody to just go straight for the who could be a badass, who could be the Phantom.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't actually need that, because we see all the things that make him this unhinged guy. So
Yeah.
to match up to Winslow Leach and that sort of bumbling energy and, commitment to the art and all the rest of it. Yeah, Michael Crawford, I quite like. But it is funny.
Nice.
I then look away and think, oh, hang on. Literally been the Phantom.
Yeah.
Great shout then.
Great casting then. I totally agree. I think Michael Crawford would be amazing. Another person who I think could play this like really chaotic side well that never really had a chance to be a monster is Dwight Fry. He's in like the original Universal Monster movies. So he's oh gosh, I am blanking on his name in Dracula. Jonathan Harker. I think he's like Jonathan, like kind of the Jonathan Harker role, but then he moves out of the Jonathan Harker role into a oh gosh, what is his name?
He's credited as Renfield.
Yeah.
Renfield.
Yeah.
Yes, he's Renfield. And he's also the like hunchback in the Boris Karloff Frankenstein. He is just so good. And I just don't think he ever gets enough credit, but he like plays this very manic, panicky role so well. And I think he would be amazing because he also does like really nice, really well. When there's him at the beginning of Dracula and he's like, "Oh, hi, I'm your lawyer. I'm here to like settle some stuff." He's like very nice and cordial. So I'm like, I think he could do this role actually really well. But he died like 30 years before this movie.
Yeah, he was
came
born
out.
in 1899. So yeah.
So just a shout out from the oldies, but I think he'd be great.
I love that. That sort of references that I've got no chance of catching, Klarissa. So this is why it's great having guests such as yourself on to bring up that, because there's not a chance in hell I would ever think of Dwight Fry. So that's great. Thank you for that.
Yay, Dwight.
Yeah.
Finally, Paul Williams as Swan.
Yeah.
I think that's the last one that I've really done.
Mhm.
So he's kind of best known as a composer, songwriter, written loads of songs, right? But
Mhm.
and most excitedly for me, written a lot of the songs for the Muppet Christmas Carol as well. So I already like him. What do we think of him for this?
I think he's interesting because he's like not the most handsome guy.
Yeah.
And so like to use, I mean, really it's the sad part of the industry that's made as a point here, right? Of like people in power can manipulate people trying to earn their shot. And that's like the whole thing with Phoenix at the beginning is like, no, I came here to sing. It like feels super Harvey-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, he's not really a stunner, which makes sense to me, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
he's weird. I was initially, I was doing my notes. I was kind of less impressed with him than certainly Winslow,
mhm.
William Finlay as Winslow Leach.
He has managed to create a very creepy and menacing character from not really saying
But this
or
is the thing.
doing a lot, though.
I was kind of
Yeah.
thinking he's almost not enough of a bastard, right?
Mm.
So I was like,
Mm.
he's not mean enough for me. But then you see music execs, especially British ones, and they are kind of like this. They are kind of
Yeah.
like these camp cartoon characters.
Mhm.
And so I sort of think like he's probably really realistic for what he's portraying there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did kind of think that, and I still struggle to struggled to recast this, but I did kind of think the same. That if someone else was in this, could they have elevated it to another
Yeah, so
level?
I've done exactly that with my recasting, right? I've gone for like amping it up to actually what is probably less realistic,
Mm.
but yet if I was making the film, I'd have gone, oh well, I want Alice Cooper as my music mogul
Ooh.
villain. Thank you very much. Right, and it would be Alice
Nice.
Cooper because if they make this film today, if you don't think it would be Marilyn Manson, you're off your head, right? So,
Yeah.
so that I've sort of fallen into the cliche, even though it's probably less realistic than Paul Williams's version. But yeah,
Hmm.
Did you have
Nice.
any thoughts on Paul Williams, Clarissa?
I thought he did pretty well. It's just performing, like performance wise, I think it could have been a little more blatantly evil too.
yeah,
Like,
Mm.
there
yeah,
were a lot of chances for that. Um, but so then my mind just started racking. This is one where I really started like going down rabbit holes trying to like recast. At first I was like, okay, who are the stinkers of Hollywood? Like
yeah.
who do we have that just like plays people who suck? And immediately I thought of like Vincent Price and some of those like awesome Edgar Allan Poe movies, but I'm like, no, he's too. Even Vincent Price is too like good looking for that role, and his voice is like too smooth as a narrator to like really fit in here. No, and so um, I think we could do something. I don't know. Like right now, we could do Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran is clearly too talented, like so great, but he's like famously a guy who people wouldn't recognize as this like famous singer, or
Mm.
another person that I thought of for the time that is like has is super talented but is not the best looking is Fred Astaire.
Okay.
Fred Astaire is like, I mean, I remember my mom, she didn't ever want to watch Funny Face with Audrey Hepburn growing up because she was like, I just don't buy Fred Astaire as a love interest. I don't. It's like, ouch. but honestly, like he's super talented and he like understands it, but he's not like the most conventionally like
Yeah.
attractive. So I think he could do really well in the role where it's kind of that same thing of like unbelievably talented, but
Mm.
you know. So he was a thought.
Yeah, I've been down a different route, I guess, because I was thinking if you want someone that's kept themselves young, permanently young, you almost
Mm.
want them to have something you'd want to keep. Someone who
Oh, like conventionally attractive.
yeah, a bit conventional, but they've got
Yeah.
an edge. They've got an edge, like a David
Mm.
Bowie.
Yeah, but Bowie would have never have tried to keep himself young. He was a very grounded bloke. Look at Simon Cowell.
That's what
Look at
acting's
them. Look at
for.
the mess he's done to his face. He was just
Oh,
an ordinary, average-looking bloke to begin with, and for
but I
some
do
reason
think
he
that
thought that felt it was worth preserving and messing around with.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
oh, I have not. I'm gonna have to Google pictures of him now because I have not seen that. But I think that this would be a film that Bowie would take, though. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he did Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I think he would
Nothing much stranger
totally
than
thrive.
Labyrinth. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I think he would totally be like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah. And he would be great. I like
Yeah,
that.
and I think he could camp it up as well. So I think he'd kind of fit from in that way.
Totally.
But hey, we shall put it out there and see if anyone else can come up with anything better than what we have suggested. All right. Well, we have covered the film in detail now. So let's move on to our final Mashflix and Chill section. So this is where we look back on what we've talked about. And based on what we've talked about today, are we happy with the proposed mashup? Why it works? And can we come up with any tweaks or alternatives? So I'll lead off with why it works. I think we've kind of covered this. It's a really good mash that you get elements from both into Phantom of the Paradise. Still can't say that quickly.
Yeah, don't say opera. Don't say opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the plot is pretty bang on with Phantom of the Opera. You can see the clear lines in there, the song style and feel, very Rocky Horror. And the only thing that holds me back from saying this is a perfect mash is just the fact that it's the impure part of it.
Yeah,
So
days.
Yeah.
that's
It's a
all it
great
is.
mash. It's a
Yeah.
great mash.
Have you come up with any tweaks, alternatives that would make it?
Well, I think you can very easily fix one half of it because there are so many versions of Phantom of the Opera to choose from.
Yeah.
Now, I can't claim to have seen
Any of them.
any of them.
Yeah.
But I did a bit of Googling, and the closest in tone pre 1974 would be the Hammer Horror version, 1962.
Okay.
So that would make that half of it.
Have you
work.
seen that, Klarissa?
No,
No.
I haven't.
That makes
Yeah,
three of us.
it's difficult. It's difficult, isn't it? Like, I think we're only ever going to get to a proposal here.
Yeah.
The second part is tougher. The style is just it's so Rocky Horror. We might at some point entertain doing this the other way. Actually, we might entertain saying Phantom of the Paradise with something else is going to get you to the Rocky Horror.
Because it did come before, right? Phantom of the Paradise was 74.
Yeah, it's like a year. It's a year between them. So the tone is so bang on. But if you're trying to be pure, let's say you take that 62 version of Phantom of the Opera. What am I looking for after that? I'm looking for something that's got that music industry commentary. In theory, preferably it's very stylized and over the top as well. And I've come up with not a film I've seen. This is the result of much Googling. I've come up with a film called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, which is written no less by Roger Ebert.
Really?
Which is strange. Didn't even know he wrote films.
That's the film critic.
Yeah, so Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. I'll give you the synopsis. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is a hyper-stylized satirical descent into Hollywood excess, following an all-female rock band whose rapid success exposes them to exploitation, addiction, and violence, blending sexploitation, melodrama, and pop art absurdity. The film critiques the entertainment industry's corruption while gleefully indulging in its excesses. It is loud, chaotic, morally contradictory, and intentionally over the top, collapsing into operatic violence that feels as much like parody as condemnation. No, I haven't seen this film.
Sounds pretty bang on, though.
But it sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So Beyond the Valley of the Dolls with the 62 version of Phantom of the Opera works in theory for the same reason that today's works, but has the right dates.
Having any of us seen any of them,
That's the issue.
difficult, a challenge to do. That was 1970. That Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, this is what homework's for. We can always have a look at
So
this.
gonna watch both of these.
Yeah, there you go.
What about if we flipped it around at all? Like even with the using two of the films that we've got, are there alternatives that could work or ones that could come off of this? You mentioned, Klarissa, The Little Shop of Horrors. Now I know that's got sort of elements of Rocky Horror-esque, craziness. going on. Does that? Could you do Phantom of the Paradise and Rocky Horror Picture Show? Does that make Little Shop of Horrors? I've not seen it. I watched a trailer for it, and it makes me want to see it because I didn't have a clue that half of the 80s comedy talent was in that movie. It's John Candy, Steve Martin.
Steve Martin with black hair.
Moranis. Yes.
Yeah, with like pitch black hair. Yeah, it's you know, I don't know, because stylistically and color wise, it's just not really there. It is a little bit more. I don't know. The both of these movies, Phantom of the Paradise and Rocky Horror, really bank on their sets too. And I feel like Little Shop is less of a set built as much as the like practical effects of like the puppet.
Right.
And so it's built to be a little bit more practical with like, oh, this is a flower shop. And then this is Steve Martin plays an evil maniacal dentist. And like you're inside the mouth of his patient and he's like drilling in there and like he's got a chainsaw in the mouth. And but the rest is still like you're just in a dentist office. And it's kind of this dingy, dark, garbage city for anywhere else. And so I'm like visually, I don't know, because it's also not as like fantastical other than the plant.
Right.
Like that's the one thing that comes into the normal world, where these, I feel like you go into these massive buildings like the Frankenstein place, the big Frankenfurt mansion, and it's like, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm blown away. And the Paradise is like, you know, this big like colorful place inside. And so I don't know, that's like a tricky question. Music wise, yes. Little Shop is a little bit more musical in the leading of the music. Like all of the songs have like are a little bit more plot driven and they're conversational. So they're singing back and forth. Like the plant is convincing Seymour to feed him humans.
Yeah.
But,
just as an aside, my wife says to me a lot, "Feed me, Seymour."
Feed me. That's so great. Honestly, watch it. It's fun. The plant has some really great songs. I can't remember her name who plays Audrey, but she has a little bit of a rough voice, but it's very
Ellen Green.
Yes, Ellen Green. It's not my favorite for the role, but she's still really fun. She's great. So yeah, anyway, I don't know if they would work as a mashup for that, but I feel like Little Shop with one of these movies would make a mashup for something else.
Yeah. I mean, that is the nicest and most detailed way anyone has ever told me that. No, Simon, you don't know what you're talking about. No, thank you for that.
Oh, anytime.
If you were going to go with, again, it's only proposal because we haven't seen the films. If you're going to go with 62 Phantom, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls to make Phantom of the Paradise, if you then take that on and go, okay, Phantom of the Paradise, and what else makes Rocky Horror? What would you pick for that other one?
You know, I kind of thought, because I'm like, you've got to get this weird space thing. You've got to get that you're left with questions, but you have to have like deeper themes. I was like, okay, what movie does all three of those? 2001. Space Odyssey, which is like kind of a weird take on that, but I'm like,
we're not against
it's spacey.
Out there takes.
It like the vibe of that movie is completely different, but it is more musical than it is dialogue driven.
Oh yeah, and it leaves you with big open questions and.
Yeah, it does. It has a lot of big themes in there. You're not supposed to know really what's going on for sure. So.
Let me get this one. So, just so I can capture it down, we're saying 2001 is the result of, or is this crossed with?
That would need to be crossed with
Phantom of the Paradise.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Rocky Horror.
Yeah. Which is great because we keep the link between Rocky Horror and Phantom of the Paradise, which is so evident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you guys like agree with that? I mean, that's like a pretty outlandish take.
I love it as a shout. Nice. And we haven't got 2001 on the Family Tree either.
Which we feel like we probably should at some point. Right?
Yeah, we could work that in.
Yeah, so great.
I mean, I honestly, I never thought 2001 would get mentioned on this episode. Quite frankly, it wasn't one that I had on the bingo card. Let's put it that way.
That came to my mind like 5 minutes ago.
No, I love it. No, this is why the game is so fun, because you just things just
fun.
crop up and you go like, well, if you take these aspects of this film and that kind of that's the whole point of the mash.
This doesn't. Simon's next question is: does this fit onto our tree? It doesn't at the moment.
Not yet.
So the idea of having this mashup and then being able to have it immediately feed into another one is already appealing to me. We've created a little segment that we might be able to plug in somewhere, or a segment that's fun to explore. Who knows?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks again, Klarissa, and look forward to having you back on again in the future. We'll be back next month, 8th of February, as we invite another guest to join us to Mashflix and Chill, easy for me to say. You can also find all our previous Movie the Needle, date night classics, and monthly retro episodes on our feed. Please do like, follow, and all that stuff on whichever social media channels you doom scroll on. Please also do find Klarissa on those same social channels. Do you want to give out your handles, Klarissa, that you commonly use on Instagram? I know Instagram's your big one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I am a nightmare on everything else, but I'm trying to be better. So on TikTok and Instagram, I've seen that one, all one word. And then somebody took that username for Letterboxd.
God damn it.
And so I know the nerve. I've already contacted an attorney. But on Letterboxd, she's seen that one. Nice. So you can still find me there. It's just little, but I love it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Next week on the 15th of January, we will release our latest Classics Collection episode as we recycle the same material over and over and over again until we finally make a great episode and escape purgatory. And we'll also be deep diving into Groundhog Day. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Called Mashflix and Chill. The same two fools with a bit of a twist. With each new mash, a new guest they enlist. It started as hybrids, a game from Carl's mind. Thinking about what if two movies combined. We could stitch them together in pyramid style, or a filmily tree. Said sigh with a smile. We still do the scale, all 5 points we've got, and unveil the ale. Only Carl drinks the lot. A man called Adam said, hey, this looks good, so we made it a podcast as quick